Hey guys, in this episode, I'm going to teach you how to build the rear inner wheel well for the Toyota FJ40. I'm Chris Brown with White Rhino Fab. Get comfortable, we got a lot to cover. Welcome back, guys. So what I like to do on a project like this is start with the easier pieces, and that typically is the floor pan in the back, the side wheel well, and the top of the wheel well. I'll measure all of these, measure where all of the beads are, and then transfer that into SolidWorks where I'll make my actual sheet metal part.
Okay guys, I'm in SolidWorks now, and I'm basically transferring all of those measurements that I pulled before into this sketch. And as I'm going along, you'll see basically exactly how I build these parts in SolidWorks. Some of the stuff that you won't see me do is put the holes that I use for the clicos, because how I put them may be different from how you decide to put them. I just did it for how it works for me. Also, you don't have to use SolidWorks. You can use basically whatever CAD program you want or you have access to. That's all that matters. You just need a way to tell a CNC machine how you want the part to look. And here, I've already put in all my holes, and I put my flanges in, and then the oval slots that are there are just a visual representation of where I'm going to put those beads. And I pulled those measurements from the stock Fender.
Now that we have these cut, you'll see that I have the cleco holes that I'm going to use to attach everything and hold everything in place. And I also went ahead and cut the side of the wheel well. I did that mainly because since I was measuring the top, we'll measure the side and go ahead and cut that at the same time. Just speeds up the process.
Okay guys, I'm back in SolidWorks. I've already input all my dimensions to create these little fixtures, and I based those off of the sheet metal part I made. And one side is larger than the other, and that is so I can get the stock sheet metal shape that the FJ40 has. And one thing here you'll notice is that hole is smaller than the other one. That's so I can drill and tap that so I can bolt these together. You'll understand once we make it.
Now that I have this aluminum template cut, I've already taken a router and beveled the edge so it gives me a nice round edge. Now that what I have left is to basically drill and tap each of these holes. We actually cut the holes in first, so all I have to do is run a tap through it. So. Now that I have the aluminum part drilled and tapped, now I can put the sheet metal part on, then sandwich it between the top and the bottom part. Now that we got our sheet metal sandwiched between our two metal pieces, what we do is we come to this heavy duty machine here. It's called a Pullmax. It was used heavily back in the 50s and 60s to build aircrafts. They used to scrap these, throw these away. You can get them for $500 because they don't really use them anymore. But now that they've kind of gained popularity in this kind of craft, you can pick them up from anywhere from 8 to 15,000, just depending on which model you have. This is a P9, so it's a pretty heavy duty machine. I think it weighs about 5,000 pounds, 6,500. I can't remember exactly, but once you have everything set up, I'm going to show you how I put the beads in this. So that gives us a lot of strength for our panel. So I'll do that now, and I'll let you watch, and then I'll show it to you once I unbolt everything.
Through the darkest night, true love waits as we go, burning down the line. Don't wanna talk about it, I'm not with you. No second thoughts about it.
So now that I got this pressed in, the beauty of this type of fixture is when I do the other side, all I have to do is put this piece and the sheet metal piece on the other side, and so that'll give me my left and my right. And if you notice, I went back over it a couple times. That's just to get any imperfections in the way it pressed down, so kind of smooth that out. And I'll take this apart and show you what it looks like. Another thing that I want to point out is earlier when I was talking about the different size slots in this metal, I told you it'd give you a really nice shape. Well, if you look at this, it gives a nice, it's almost 45 degrees, so it's not a straight up and down or vertical bead, so it gives a nice shape, very similar to the stock shape of the FJ40. So and that's what I wanted. I wanted it to look very, very similar to the FJ40, because some of the lines on the FJ40 are unique to the FJ40, and I wanted to keep that, because otherwise, you know, they may understand what the build is, but when it looks stock and it looks like it came from the factory like that, that's going to give you a much better result, higher quality, and it just looks better. So now we're going to flip it over, sandwich the other piece, and do the other side. That way we can have both sides done, ready to go. Alright, so we got this bolted together, and we'll put it back in the Pullmax. We'll get this side finished, and then the top side of this fender will pretty much be done until we break the last two edges, or I'm sorry, the last four edges. Alright, now that we have both panels done, this is the left and the right side, now we'll take it over to the press brake, bend the flanges up, and this will be done. We can move on to the next piece.